As is the case for many championship caliber teams, the genesis of success for the College of the Canyons 2010 state runner-up men's soccer team, the first and so far only in program history, actually began 2 seasons earlier. In just the program's 6th year of existence, the 2008 Cougars finished with a disappointing record of 4-16-4 and failed to make the playoffs. But with College of the Canyons having been designated as the host site of that year's California Community College Athletic Association men's and women's state soccer championship tournaments, the Cougars had a front row seat to view what a championship pedigree might look like, an experience that proved more valuable than anyone could have imagined.
In kind of the debrief from that and getting ready for spring the next year, that some of the boys I sat down with that were coming back, they're like, these teams aren't that much better than us, coach. And I kind of smiled and laughed. I said, we talked a lot about what's it going to take. It's like, yeah, we only won 4 games last year, but we're not far off.
That realization served to motivate the Cougars throughout the offseason, and by the fall of 2009, there was a clear goal in mind. During the preseason team meeting, Marcelin pointed out to the talented group of incoming freshmen that Canyons would once again be hosting the state championship tournament in 2010.
The backlying goal and our hope is a little ambitious, but you have the potential to be a class that can play this final game of their eligibility on your home field for a state championship. It was crazy, but the boys believed in that.
That talent and determination transferred onto the field as Canyons finished the 2009 season with a record of 14-7-2 to place second in the conference before advancing to the 3rd round of that year's 3C2A Southern California Regional Playoffs, ultimately losing to Santa Ana College in the regional finals. That deep playoff run in 2009 also featured the emergence of several key players that would help drive the program's success heading into 2010, including all WSC South Division honorees in midfielder Hanny Helmy, defender midfielder Rafael Fuentes, midfielder George Serrano, and forward Andres Bueno, the Conference Player of the Year. Serrano and Bueno would prove especially impactful with the freshman duo both earning National Soccer Coaches Association of America all-regional team honors, and Bueno recognized as an NSCAA second-team All-American in 2009. Heading into 2010, those standouts were joined by an influx of talented newcomers that included defender Jose Reyes, Emmanuel Padron, Vincent Donato, midfielders Victor Rodriguez, and Carlos Hernandez, who would all go on to earn all WSC honors in 2010. Also making an impact for Canyons that season were freshmen Eduardo Medina, Kevin Orantes, Marvin Delgado, Noe Ramirez, Adam Aristo, Jesus Salazar, Andres Jimenez, Jared Jens, Vincent Arredondo, Mayan Schreger, Ronaldo Barrero, Abel Hinosa, and Nicholas Berkovics. Stationed between the pipes were Eduardo Robles and Alex Berkovics. Further adding to the mix were returning sophomores Damian Martin, Artie Lawson, Sebastian Toro, and Brooks Walsh. Marcelin and his staff, which included assistant coaches Lucas Bangara, Alejandro Carrero Rangel, and Joel Gunterman, had big expectations for the team after making such a deep run the year before. When the season got underway, that chemistry and balance helped the Cougars jump out to an early 4-1 record, including a 2-1 victory against highly regarded Taft College, the 2009 state runner-up. However, that momentum would be somewhat halted, beginning with a 4-1 loss to familiar foe Santa Ana in late September. That defeat began a streak in which Canyons struggled to a 2-4-2 record across the next 6 games. Following a 5-1 loss to the eventual conference champion Oxnard on October 19th, Marcelin and his staff held a players' meeting as part of their preparations for the following match.
We sat down in the theory room, and there was a big battle between me and them, old school. I'm like, we can't get a clean sheet. We can't shut people out. And if we can't shut people out, it's difficult. So, we'd gone back and forth, and we had this kind of moment, and I told him, I said, what, I've given up on hoping you guys are going to get a clean sheet. We're going to turn the page on that. We're going to work on this, that, and the thing, and I think stuck in somebody's craw.
Whatever the reason, the Cougars emerged from that meeting with a renewed focus and sense of determination. Canyons would go on to win its next 11 contests, with 9 of those victories coming by way of shutout, including 5 straight to end the regular season. COC finished the regular season as runner-up to Oxnard in the WSC standings, with an overall record of 13-5-2 and a conference mark of 9-3-2, entering the 3C2A Southern California Regional Playoff bracket as the number 6 seed. And that's when the squad got really hot. Canyons made quick work of number 11 Palomar College by a 3-0 result to begin its postseason journey behind first-half goals from Bueno and Padron, with Walsh then adding the exclamation point with his goal in the 55th minute. And of course, there was another clean sheet from Berkovics. 3 days later, the Cougars were back at it, traveling to take on number 3 Cerritos College in a second-round matchup. This time it was Rodriguez emerging as the hero, with a pair of second-half goals to hand the Falcons what was the program's first loss on its nearly 3-year-old home field. The victory propelled Canyons to the third round of the playoffs, setting up yet another battle with Santa Ana, the bracket's number 2 seed. The Dons struck first with a penalty kick goal in the 34th minute and looked to be in full control as the two sides worked late into the second half. Finally, in the 83rd minute, COC sent a cross to Reyes, who was positioned in front of the Santa Ana net for a scoring touch that tied the game at 1. Just over 3 minutes later, the Cougars lined up for a corner kick and Padron converted off an assist from Serrano, making it 2-1 Canyons. Not satisfied with the output, Bueno managed to get loose on a breakaway just a few minutes later, eventually finding the back of the net and making it 3-1 to ensure Canyons would be moving on to the state championship tournament for the first time in program history. Canyons was joined by defending state champions Mount San Antonio College, the top seed from the SoCal region, with West Valley College and Fresno City College, the top seed in the north, rounding out the 4-team field. In the opening round of the state tourney, Canyons and Fresno City combined to go scoreless across the first 47 minutes of play before Bueno took a 15-yard volley off his right foot and placed the ball in the lower left corner of the net. 10 minutes later, in the 57th minute, Bueno found a streaking Fuentes who scored on a sliding goal. Canyons added one more for good measure in the 73rd minute. This time it was Toro who found the back of the net, off an assist from Serrano. Berkovics notched 5 saves to record his second shutout of the postseason and secure another historic win. Meanwhile, Mount Sac played to a 2-1 victory over West Valley College to set up a showdown with COC in the state championship game. Just as Marcelin had predicted, these Cougars had earned the opportunity to conclude the season on their home field with a chance to bring home a state title. Unfortunately, the Cinderella story for Canyons didn't come to fruition, as the Cougars were down 4-0 in the championship game, allowing Mount Sac to walk away with its second straight state title.
It was kind of a tragic implosion of a lot of things. But even that, I think it was fitting for us. We were there by our grit and our emotion and our orthodoxy and our unity. And we went down swinging that way.